Hi viewers, and welcome to Get Well, Stay Well with myself, Cyrus. And as always, delighted to be joined by Felicity. You all right?
Here we are, and I've got some lovely emails here. I've got one from Sarah. Hello, Sarah. You're in Northern Ireland, in County Antrim, and you're asking about arthritis. So here we go. I used to have arthritis years ago, and I found that when I gave up meat and dairy, I got rid of my arthritis, and I got on to alkalizing my body. So I know you can't travel, Sarah, and I'm delighted to be able to help you just talking one-to-one really here. And I don't know if anyone else is listening in, but it's me and you, Sarah, basically. So you want to come off the meat and dairy. You want to try and alkalize with green juices. And of course, heat and warmth is the best thing for the arthritis. So you want to try and get into the sunshine. I know in Ireland you have a lot of rain and damp, and probably that's not helping your arthritis very much. But you can get something called the state-of-the-art machine. It's a magnetic pulsar that does take out pain. I've actually invested in one for myself. I don't sell them, but I do think they're really good. And the magnetic pulsar is like a sort of ping-pong bat that releases the magnetic pulse 9 inches into the body. And you remember when Howard had a football injury?
He often does have many football injuries.
He does,
but yes.
and he put it on his ribs.
Yes.
Other people in Revelation TV have used my magnetic pulsar, and it does work. It works for me, and also it's a very nice company who stock them. I had to get mine from Canada, which was a bit of a performance, but wow. I have managed to find someone in England who stocks them now. Now the thing is that you also want to try the magnesium baths, you know, the nice hot bath at night with sodium of bicarbonate, Epsom salts, all those things to try and take the acidity out of the body. And oil of magnesium, Sarah, that's another thing. So you can get a beautiful one from the Dead Sea. They make a beautiful magnesium oil, which is full of these gorgeous minerals from the Dead Sea, and I think you might find that would help very much. Another thing you can do is wrap, if it's a joint, you wrap it up with wheatgrass, and you put, say, cling wrap or some film over it to stop it leaking, and then put a sock or something warm over it, and go to sleep at night. And in the morning, believe it or not, the wheatgrass will have taken out a lot of the pain out of the joint. So I hope that will really help you, Sarah, and lots of love from me here in Spain.
Well, we often do get so many emails and text messages and messages from our lovely viewers out there, and they're always so encouraging, and we absolutely love to hear from them, don't we, Felicity? And we'd like to encourage you to just contact us, and if it's after a programme, perhaps you can contact Felicity on her personal email. What's that, Felicity?
It's just felicitycorbin-wheeler@gmail.com, so it's very easy.
Yeah.
felicitycorbin-wheeler@gmail.com.
And we honestly just want to hear from you. How has our programme, how has dieting or anything, any changes that you've made in your life, how has that changed your life? I've got something here from Christine. She says, I replaced 2 meals with juicing. Nice. I'm now exercising, I'm sleeping well and have a lot more energy, and my depression is better.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. It makes a huge difference, and nobody really believes it until they do it. Yeah. You know, we do have to actually do these therapies. That's the thing. You can talk about it and think about it, but actually getting down and making the juice is really what we have to do.
Yeah. And I was going to say proof is in the pudding, but proof is in the juicing.
Depends what your pudding is. Of course, you can have beautiful ice cream, you know, the banana ice cream, which you just blend up, just pure bananas blended up, and you can put a fruit with them. So I make pineapple ice cream and apricot ice cream.
Lovely.
Gorgeous, and they're slightly different, you know.
Yeah.
And my grandchildren like the dark one with the berries.
Yeah.
So we put in blackberry ice cream, you know. And they just love all the colours.
The point is, Felicity, is eating healthy doesn't have to be boring, does it? Because there are so many absolutely gorgeous and delicious recipes out there available. And we're so blessed with the wonders of the internet and the videos that we can simply watch how to make the ingredients and the recipes. we're blessed. We are very blessed. And if we really do want to look after ourselves, it's not expensive to eat healthy, and it's quite easy to do so as well.
Well, it's much cheaper, really much cheaper. With the gypsy market I've got at the bottom of the hill here, for about 20 euros, I can really go down and get enough apples, cucumbers, spinach to last me. And it's much, much less expensive. And of course, you feel good on it. Now, I've got a letter here from David, and David has been suffering from depression. And he says, what should he do? Well, David, you will feel better, as we've just been saying, when you lift yourself with the juices. And also, you could start supplementing some niacinamide. That's a vitamin B. It's vitamin B3. And Professor Andrew Saul, who actually he's had a lifetime of teaching the doctors, and he says that vitamin C and vitamin B, especially this B3, will work wonders. And he's got many people out of really, really deep depression with supplementing with the niacinamide. And it can cause a little bit of a flush in the body, but that's a very good thing. And certainly try it and build up gradually. You can take large amounts of this without it having any harmful side effects. Everything I say is always backed by the doctor. So if you Google Dr. Andrew Saul, he's probably the world authority on orthomolecular medicine, which means nutritional medicine. And he's a very nice man. He runs courses online for people as well. So I know him through Food Matters and some of these DVDs. And certainly, if you're interested in getting yourself well, it's a really good thing to follow his teachings. So again, go to your doctor and explain what's happening. Say, I want to try and get myself well with some natural things, and the niacinamide. Also, 2 handfuls of cashews a day, he says, are as good as a dose of Prozac without the side effects.
Wow.
So we all I love cashew nuts.
Yeah.
I think they're gorgeous. And
do we need to make sure they're unsalted, or?
well, that's right. I mean, if you've got a heart problem, you don't want to be having a lot of that salt. So what I do is I buy the cashew nuts and I soak them first, and then I dehydrate them in my special dehydrator, and then they're absolutely gorgeous. You could put a little bit of the Himalayan salt with them if you wanted, or a little curry powder.
Oh, wow.
And that makes them really super.
Very good.
So I just put those in a little glass pot, and I'll have those maybe for lunch.
Wonderful.
Beside my computer, so I don't even have to get up and go and do anything for lunch, which is,
Convenience is key. So viewers, have you ever wondered, how do I make a delicious raw Thai lettuce wrap? Have you ever wondered that? Let's have a look. Here's how you do it.
All right, in the processor, we're gonna put some sesame oil. All right, some nama shoyu. That is a raw, unpasteurized soy sauce. We got red pepper flakes. Got some sesame seeds. This doesn't get any easier. Raw honey, raw wild honey. Use whatever brand you like. Just make sure it's raw and it's wild. Throw that into the processor. Look at that, I like the thick stuff. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Fresh grated garlic. Garlic, ginger together make an amazing Thai dish. Those 2 flavors with some honey, some red pepper. Just imagine how strong and pungent and exciting this is going to be. Okay. Now the processor can break this down for you, but I like to grate it first so it really distributes evenly so you don't get any chunks in your mouth. When you're grating ginger, you don't have to worry about taking the skin off. Just stick it right in. Okay, get the last bit of that oil in, and then we're gonna whip this together. You always want to scrape down the sides because things go flying up. Got sesame seeds up there, some honey, little red pepper flakes. All right. Process it a little more. I want you to see the sauce because it's actually sort of a creamy consistency. That's from whipping the oil and the honey together. All right, now we're going to throw in, this is the meat of our product. So instead of using meat, we're going to use some high protein walnuts. And throw in some carrots. Let's get that last one. Some celery. Green onion. And then some fresh cilantro. I'm going to pulse this. I'm actually not going to process. I'm just going to pulse it to break it down until it gets to a consistency that I like. Always check. I see this is very chunky right now. I want to get it down to sort of like a minced meat. There we go. That is perfect. Everything is mixed together. I like uniformity. That way you know that the flavors are distributed evenly. Okay, so that is the meat of our Thai lettuce wraps. We have some butter lettuce here. Let's take perfect little cups, lay them out. You can use romaine lettuce as well. I just particularly like this lettuce because you can fold over and hold the cups when they're done. There we go. Let's spoon in some of our meat. There we go. That's pretty hearty there. Let's spread.
Hi viewers and welcome back. Just so easy, isn't it? It's so simple. When you really see it like that, it really is simple.
And you know, it's much nicer than sandwiches because, you know, the bread is sometimes quite heavy and you feel tired when you've had, you know, wheat belly. We've done this show on wheat belly and grain brain and all these things. So how much better just to wrap the stuff in a lettuce leaf. And I did it last night with hummus, actually.
Oh.
And that was gorgeous with the chickpeas.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things you can do, you know.
Wonderful.
I've
That's
got my little
absolutely
recipe
fantastic.
book,
Yeah.
and I'm adding to that all the time. I've got it on my computer, and I send that to people as an attachment.
Yeah.
So all the recipes, and since I went to America, I got a whole lot more. So it's really exciting.
I'm sure you're into your dinner parties, Felicity, aren't you? What would you prepare for your dinner party? You've got some guests coming around. You want to impress them with some lovely, delicious and healthy foods. What would you do?
Well, it depends who's coming for dinner. If it's my daughter and my son, I probably have to do a traditional Christmas lunch or something, you know. But if it's healthy people, then of course I'm in my element. And I can do avocados, and I can do guacamole, I can do a plate of vegetables, which I think is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So for instance, I do the tomatoes, you know, halve the tomato, put the sauteed onions on the top with breadcrumbs and garlic. I mean,
Wow.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then I love the colours, so I'll do a green, so probably, you know, the spinach, which I love, and that's so good for you.
Yeah.
Broccoli, and then I'll do some yellow, so probably some corn, sweet potato I adore, that sort of thing. And then for pudding, I do a special one, which is a nut base, like it's like tarte aux pommes à l'orange, which is a French done I used to do, which was with pastry. And so now I do it with a base of nuts. They're gorgeous walnuts, and I use those, a little bit of coconut oil, make that the base. Then I do pureed apple, fresh apples,
Yeah.
just softened and then pureed. And then on the top, I cut up orange slices, and I put a slice like a flower all over the top, and then I top it with a beautiful apricot glaze.
Wow.
It tastes out of this world.
Where do you get your recipes from, Felicity?
Out of my head mainly.
Yeah. Is it like that? Is it kind of like a trial and error? You kind of work slowly by slowly, work out what works?
That's right. Well, what I've done is adapt my old favourites
Oh, fantastic.
into a healthy way of doing them. And there's so many websites out there, there really are. But I've done basic ones because the people who come to me are sometimes quite ill.
Yeah.
And they want just something really simple. They don't want to be looking through cookery books. They just want tell me what to do, tell me how to do it, you know. So I've written it out in words of one syllable, basically. And it's very easy. So you start with the juices, and then you have, say, the mashed carrots, the mashed sweet potato, for instance, all these lovely things. And you don't really have to mess about the food a lot, you know. I love the sweet peas, you know, just gorgeous. There's little garden peas. We grow them in Jersey, of course, and the tomatoes. And I don't really want to mix the things up too much. I love to see the beautiful colours God's provided
It's the same way
for
with
us.
the juicing, though, isn't it? When you're preparing your recipes, it's the same way in the juicing. You kind of stick to the same colours, and there are certain ingredients you use more than others as well, isn't there?
Yes, and with the Gerson therapy, what you do is have a fresh juice on the hour, every waking hour. So you'll have maybe an orange juice first thing in the morning, then you might go into a green juice, then you go into a carrot and apple juice. So actually you're getting that beautiful rainbow of juices. You can have grape as well, which is, you know, the dark purple. And of course beetroot juice as well. So if you drink a rainbow every day, think how fit you'd be.
Amazing.
And I love to do them all fresh. Of course, if you're coming out to work, it's difficult. You have to bottle them and bring them, as I've done today. But we can do that. And then what I do for the food, really, is bring some of the dehydrated nuts and just literally snack on those, snack on healthy food.
That's a question that people often ask, Felicity, is what do we do in the middle of meals? Well, that's the most tempting time, really, when it's to cheat, or you might have something that you shouldn't be having. What do you do at those times?
Well, the great thing is never to let yourself get hungry. That's why you do the juice on the hour every hour. So bring the juice, have these beautiful nuts, because then you can actually snack on those. And even, you know, 5 or 6 cashew nuts will just fill you up until you have the next juice, and then you can have a salad maybe for lunch. You can always have a salad.
Yeah.
And avocado, I think an avocado a day, like an apple a day, keeps the doctor away. And really, I just love the food, and I miss it if I'm away, if I'm traveling, you know, and you're sitting on the plane and you get this plastic meal.
Yeah.
You think, what am I going to eat here? It's not going to kill me.
Have you had any emails recently from any of the viewers for this too?
We've had lots of emails. I've had one from Jill. Now, she's worried about asthma and breathing. And Jill, that is such a frightening thing when we feel we can't breathe properly. And I've worked on this for years, and I think that the first thing to come off is milk, because milk makes mucoid plaque, clogs us up. So you come off milk, and that's all milk products as well. And people say to me, does that include cheese? Yes, it does. It includes cream, yogurt, all the things that are made from cow's milk. You can go on to the other milks, of course, like oat milk, rice milk, so you're not going to be deprived. And then,
how long would that take for her to notice the difference if she?
Oh, within a couple of days.
Really?
Yes, yes. If you go back to having a glass of milk, in fact, you would clog up quite quickly. It's quite dramatic. Another thing I love for Jill is colloidal silver. And colloidal silver is something that you can spray ear, nose and throat with so that you don't pick up more infections and colds, because if you've got asthma and breathing problems, when you get a cold, of course, you're much worse than someone who just has a little sniffle. I also like cinnamon, clove and thyme, which you can get in essential oils to actually inhale with. So you can get one of those little Vicks inhalers, or just a little bowl of water, steaming water, put the a cloth over your head and just inhale, good old granny's recipe, but it does work and it will unclog. The oil pulling is another thing. You know, we've talked about the oil pulling with the coconut oil. So you put that in the mouth, swish it around for about 15 minutes, and that will take all the bacteria and viruses out of ear, nose, and throat. Wow. So you slosh it around and then you spit it out into a tissue, put it in the bin, because it would clog up your sink or your
Now, what
loo.
sort of oil should they be using for that?
Coconut oil. Coconut oil's got to be, because that's the most wonderful anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial. Will also help with toothache, because if you have toothache, you can't get to the dentist. Always give the tooth a day or two to see if it'll settle, because the coconut oil is amazing, and I've done it myself. Thought I'd have to go and have a tooth out or something dramatic done to it, and in fact, after oil swilling for 24 hours, I haven't got a tooth problem anymore. So
for toothache, would you apply the coconut oil on the actual tooth or on the gum, or whereabouts?
Well, I would swill round that area all the time. And also you can put on some cloves. You know, the dentists use cloves still as well. So interesting. But anyway, Jill, I hope that helps you with your asthma. Another thing you can do is buy a nebulizer. If you're really bad with this breathing situation, and you may be on Ventolin and Spiriva, which is very good for COPD and emphysema, but you can nebulize as well. And a nebulizer is a way of inhaling really deeply into the lungs, and I would use colloidal silver, and that will then take the antibiotic, it's nature's antibiotic, right into the lungs, and no side effects, of course. So I hope that helps you, Jill, and let us know. So send me an email.
There are so many health issues that people often come across, and you must have heard them all, surely, Felicity. And yet it's interesting how they can all be avoided in a way by just having the right diet, having the juicing. The juicing just literally takes care of and cleanses the entire body, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, it builds the immune system. And at the end of the day, the doctors all know that the only thing that will really heal the patient is the immune system. You know, sometimes if we're really ill, we need to have an antibiotic quickly just to knock out the worst of the problem. And then it's up to your immune system to get you well. So very important to live this way. So if you do have an accident or you suddenly have something go wrong with the body, you're much quicker to heal, always much quicker to heal. The other thing is chiropractic and osteopathy, because they understand how the spinal column holds the central nervous system. And, you know, so many people are suffering from autoimmune disease. And very often it's because one of the little facet joints or one of the vertebrae are out of place. And it's good to have a check. And when babies are born, sometimes if they've had, you know, a rough delivery, their little spines and necks have been slightly put out of kilter. And really important to go and find a really gentle, lovely naturopath, chiropractor, someone who understands about the importance of the spine being properly aligned. And I think a lot of people, most people probably have back pain at some time or another. You know, at the top or the lumbar spine or in the neck. People who've had whiplash injuries, for instance. You know, if you're in an accident, I fell skiing, you can have an accident with a car or whatever, but our necks are very delicate, and if you get your neck put out, you know, it throws out the rest of the body, and a blockage will always cause pain and consequences like breathing problems, for instance. I've known people really solve their problems with a good chiropractor.
Okay, well, we have reached the end of today's programme, Felicity.
Wow, it's flown, hasn't it? Absolutely flown.
Okay, viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Do remember that we have a website on-demand service. It's on revelationtv.com. As always, every week, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you same time next week on Revelation TV. Take care, God bless, and keep smiling. Bye.